Hello viewers, I'm your host Swati Kundra with yet another episode of South Asia Focus. With the concentration of several terror camps in its territory, Pakistan remains a sanctuary for terrorists. India has been relentlessly fighting against terrorism and seeking the blacklisting of Jaish-E-Mohammad chief Masood Azhar by 1267 Counter-Terrorism Committee of the UN Security Council. However, it has not been successful in getting that done, with China repeatedly blocking its efforts. We have a report.
Jaish-E-Mohammad, led by bearded and pot-bellied Masood Azhar, is responsible for carrying out some of the most deadly attacks across India. However, despite masterminding attacks like those on Indian airbase in Pathankot in January 2016, Azhar roams free in Pakistan under government protection. JEM is one of the many terrorist organizations being sheltered by Pakistan. Others include Haqqani Network, Lashkar-e-Taiba and Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. India had moved a request before the United Nations seeking blacklisting of Azhar, following which he will face a global travel ban and asset freeze. All members of UN Counter-Terrorism Committee but China have backed India's request. China has blocked India's request twice and has been claiming that it had adopted an objective and professional attitude in deciding the matter.
14 out of 15 members perhaps agree on taking action against Masood Azhar, and there is simply one holdout. We hope that the holdout, that this is the year when that holdout disappears.
India has called China's decision unfortunate and hopes the latter will soon reverse its decision. Today, terrorist groups working on the payrolls of the Pakistani establishment pose a formidable challenge to the rest of the world.
To get more insights into the story, we are now joined by Kamar Agha, a defense expert. Mr. Agha, what could be the real intention of China behind blocking the application of India asking for the blacklisting by United Nations?
China, has a stand towards militancy. There is a duality in China's stand. Let's put it that way. They also believe in looks, the good terrorists, bad terrorists. They believe that all those terrorists which are working against India, they are freedom fighter or whatever, And support Kashmir also, they believe, is a disputed territory. And earlier also, we have seen, they used to issue a separate visa for the Kashmiri students going to, or businessmen who are going to China. So there is a problem with China. China's policy is to appease Pakistan for a number of reasons. One is because of China-Pakistan economic corridor. Other was they are using Pakistan as a bully against India. Then, the policy is to see that India should remain engaged in its internal problems rather than, otherwise India would play a greater role in the region or in the international level, So they're trying to build up a pressure on India, but I don't think they will succeed for a longer period of time.
India and Afghanistan have been badly affected by the presence of terrorist organizations in Pakistan. Don't you think China will have to face the consequences of protecting militancy?
Of course they will affect China. Already there are some militant organizations which are based in Pakistan and are operating in Xinjiang province, where Muslim majority is Xinjiang province in China. Second thing, India is not alone. Afghanistan is making similar complaints that these militant outfit, like Jaish-E-Mohammad or Lashkar-e-Taiba and Taliban, they are working in Pakistan, Afghanistan. The base is in Pakistan. Bangladesh of late has also come out, and said openly, the Pakistan-backed militancy is disturbing peace and stability in Bangladesh, So India is not alone. Iran has blamed Pakistan for a number of reasons because of the Jundala militant organization based in Pakistan operating in Iran. So then Central Asian republics, they have also grudge against Pakistan. So these are the militant organizations. They're coordinating with each other. They're coordinating with Al-Qaeda or Taliban, and working, destabilizing the whole region in this area.
There have been voices demanding Pakistan to be declared as terrorist nation. Do you favor this kind of demand?
Yeah, Pakistan is a hub of terrorist organizations. That it's an epicenter of terrorism. From here it went all over the world. Include even that far. As far as Sudan and Somalia or Nigeria, the Boko Haram leader, he speaks Urdu because he spent so much time in Pakistan. He picks up Urdu. Then all these militant groups, be it Al-Qaeda, all of them, their leaders were trained in Pakistan. So Pakistan is a hub of international terrorism.
Now we talk about Bangladesh, where religious extremism poses a big threat. The country has been facing challenges in dealing with the Islamic State and Ansar al-Islam along with other local terrorist groups. My colleague Ravi Khandelwal spoke with Dr. Ashish Shukla, a research fellow at the Institute for Defense Studies and Analysis, to get an insight into the situation.
Dr. Shukla, the year 2016 remained a challenging year for counter-terrorism in Bangladesh. So how do you see the overall circumstances going there in that country?
See, that's a very worrying trend which we are seeing in our neighboring country. The trend, if I am right, it started after 2009 and that has been continuing. The attacks on gay rights activists, the attacks on secular bloggers, writers, and the religious minority is quite worrying, and 2016 has been a year in which we witnessed a lot of violence in our neighboring country, that is Bangladesh. You see, the recent attack on the lawmaker is the seventh, he is the seventh incumbent lawmaker who has been killed by these forces. So in a country where top lawmakers are not that safe, you can imagine the situation in which the other people are living. That's horrible, I think.
It's not only the local, the Bangladesh-based the organizations which are indulged in these activities. The Islamic State is also spreading its tentacles in the country. So how serious is this for the nation?
The trend is like that Al-Qaeda as well as ISIS have claimed some of these attacks in Bangladesh, like the one attack in which an Indian was also got killed, the restaurant attack. The problem with the trend is that global trend, what is happening outside the region. What Bangladeshi government says, the Bangladeshi government always blames the local militant groups. However, there are reports that indicate that there is some involvement of the ISIS and Al-Qaeda and other international terrorist organizations. That is very tragic to know. And if the trend continues, it is going to create a lot of problem in the region, not only in Bangladesh. And we as a largest neighbor, we have to be very careful, and we have to keep an eye on this kind of development in our neighboring country.
The Awami League government has taken serious actions against Jamaat-e-Islami in the recent past. So is that one of the factors that is adding to this violence?
That factor cannot be ruled out. As far as these killings, this judicial killing that some of the opposition parties have named it, so these hangings have made an impact, definitely. So JMB and as you rightly said about the other organization which is involved in such kind of activities, is actually making it very, very difficult for the Bangladeshi government to tackle the particular issue.
Will the year 2017 will be a challenging year for the ruling government there?
I would not say exactly like that. There are no credible reports of that sort, although there are reports that indicate that ISIS is trying to increase its presence not only in Bangladesh but in South Asia, the entire South Asia. That is also true about Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda has already come up with this AQIS, Al-Qaeda in South Asia. and to some extent these groups are making an impact in one or the other country of the region. Pakistan, for example, is a test case, and then you have Afghanistan and now Bangladesh. So that is going in that direction. So you cannot completely rule out the possibility, but yes, we have yet to receive very credible information about these youths being trained by the ISIS or Al-Qaeda or any other international terrorist organization.
Pakistan's Balochistan province have for long accused the country's intelligence and security agencies of adopting a kill and dump policy in the resource-rich yet impoverished region. Now the government has declared that nearly 1,000 bodies of political activists and suspected separatists have been found in the restive Balochistan province over the past 6 years. A report.
Baloch people carrying pictures of family members during protest are common in cities across Pakistan. They are students, doctors, lawyers and political activists who are allegedly abducted and tortured by the security forces, and their mutilated bodies were dumped at undisclosed locations. In a recent report, Pakistan's Ministry of Human Rights claimed that at least 936 dead bodies have been found in Balochistan since 2011. Most of the bodies were dumped in the region of Quetta, Kalat, Khuzdar and Makran areas, where the Balochistan separatist insurgency has its roots. A military-led operation was also launched in early 2005 to counter the uprising by ethnic Baloch groups who want a greater say in the decision-making and against the exploitation of natural resources such as minerals and gas. The incidences of enforced disappearance have been mounting since a separatist insurgency gained momentum in early 2006 after the killing of Nawab Akbar Bugti. The military operation continues in the province, resulting in large number of casualties of civilians, including women and children. It is believed that army operation has been intensified to give protection to multi-billion-dollar China-Pakistan Economic Corridor (CPEC), which passes through Balochistan.
People in mineral-rich Balochistan are fighting for an independent and sovereign state. To speak more on this, we are now joined by Mr. Nawab Mehran Mari, a Baloch nationalist leader who is now living in exile. He is also representing Baloch at the United Nations Human Rights Council and European Union. Mr. Mari, Pakistan has officially revealed that over 900 Baloch have been killed in the past 11 years. Do you believe that international community should acknowledge the Baloch issue now?
The United Nations, other international organs, other NGOs, humanitarian workers, they have to address the issue, at least acknowledge the issue, because before it was always brushed under the carpet by saying it's an internal matter of Pakistan. This is what the Pakistani narrative was. This is our internal issue. Now the whole world knows Balochistan is not Pakistan's internal issue. We're an occupied territory. We're a nation that's been occupied by Pakistan, and it needs addressing, and we need to revert back to our sovereignty and independence with the help of the international community.
Can you justify to our viewers your demand for an independent Balochistan?
Pakistan is a cancer which is spreading by the day. The longer you leave it, the further it will spread. So it has to be curbed and it has to be amputated, and I think the first amputation should start by the creation of Balochistan. The destruction of Pakistan is imminent, so it should be done as soon as possible, because Islamic fundamentalism, the best way to curb it is for the restoration of our sovereignty and independence, and for Balochistan to be a liberal democracy in the region. Pakistan will be neutralized automatically.
But your fight is not just with Pakistan. China is investing hugely in Balochistan. That creates more trouble for the indigenous people.
We again warn China to be careful. It might burn its fingers. 46 billion is investing in an illegal project which has no legal basis. The legality of the CPEC is questionable. Balochistan is an occupied territory. Even according to Pakistan's constitution, Gilgit-Baltistan is a disputed territory. So how could they construct CPEC first and foremost on Balochistan, which is an occupied territory, and Gilgit-Baltistan, which is disputed territory, even according to the Punjabi establishment?
Well, thank you, Mr. Mari. Moving on, The Hindu and Sikh communities in Afghanistan have been living in oblivion and surviving in a climate of political and civil uncertainty for long. Often subjected to discrimination, the communities have suffered huge setback after the Taliban regime collapsed in 2001, forcing them to leave the rural areas or seek asylum in other countries. Recently, suspected militants killed a head of Sikh community in Kunduz city, triggering fear among the community. We have a report.
Suspected Taliban militants killed Nirmohan Singh Bindra alias Lal Dil Soos, a leader of minority Sikh community in Kunduz city of Afghanistan. Dil Soos, a naturopath, was reportedly on his way to his shop in the Haji Gulistan Kochi Haman area on the morning of December 29 when he was shot by the gunmen. The Hindu and Sikh minorities living in Afghanistan are often targeted to create fear psychosis and forcing them to migrate abroad. Over the past 3 decades, a major of Hindu and Sikh in Afghanistan have left the country. The population of minorities has dropped sharply from 220,000 in the 1980s to 15,000 in the 1990s when the Mujahideen was in power. It is now estimated that only around 1,000 Hindus and Sikhs remain in the country.
A large number of Sikhs and Hindus from Afghanistan have migrated to India. Their migration started post-Soviet invasion and it continues till date. To speak more on this, we are now joined by Mr. Khajinder Singh, the president of Afghan Sikh Hindu Welfare Society. Mr. Khajinder, Taliban is expected to be behind the killing of Nirmohan Singh Bindra in Kunduz. Why are the minorities being targeted in Afghanistan?
Taliban, when they are supported by Pakistan, and Taliban, they are ruling in some area of Afghanistan. Sometimes they are targeting minorities, and Hindu and Sikhs are very small minorities. They are very easy to target them. We think that the area is surrounded by Taliban, and Taliban sometimes they capture the city. Last year they captured the city, and the people, our people, there were about 40 houses. They left Kunduz. They came to Kabul and India. Again, when there was some normalcy, they went for their business to Kunduz. Mr. Nirmohan Singh also went three months ago.
You yourself had migrated from Afghanistan because of security concerns. What is the situation of the Sikh and Hindu communities there?
Those who have left there, they are very poor people, and they don't have means to come to India to migrate to any other country. Most of them, they are living in gurdwaras and mandars, and their situation is not good. They always they are under fear and threat. So they are suffering lot of problem in Afghanistan, especially the children cannot go to the school because there is no security for them. And once there were about 65 or 70,000 Hindu and Sikhs in Afghanistan. In every port, every city they were living, and they had good relation with those people.
Well, thank you, Mr. Khajinder. Now we take you to Nepal, home to a large number of tribes. Today we focus on the dance forms of Tharu community, which largely reside in the Terai region of the Himalayan nation. The dances reflect the culture of the indigenous people.
A lively and colorful dance that reflects the cultural vivacity of the Tharu tribe. The dance form Chokra Nach or Chokra dance is performed by the community members during festivals or special occasions to pay respect to their deities. The dance, which has been in existence for centuries, has witnessed transition over time. Nowadays, a tinge of modernity can be witnessed in the dances as teenagers take it up in a bid to preserve their culture. Chokra Nach is performed by a group of about 12 persons who follow to the tunes of Madal, one of the traditional musical instruments of Nepal.
अलग त छैन हाम्रो हैन हाम्रो पुर्खाहरूले नाच्ने र हाम्रो अलिअलि स्टेप स्टेपमा चेन्ज मात्रै भइराछ
Hurdunga dance is another dance form of the community which is especially performed during Dashiya festival during the month of Kartik. The performers of Hurdunga dance are offered money by the viewers and the money is collected by the chorus leader. The dance lasts for about 30 minutes and comprises of 15 to 20 artists.
संदेश का हो कल से हमार पुरान चलन चलिन्ता हो चले गाना हो ये अब उससे हमारा का हो कल से भरी गई नहीं नदी नाला जैसे भरगिल नदिया तो वो हमारे गाना कैसी को ऊपर जीना वो कैसी वो धनिया जैसे कि हमारे जैसे प्यारी का प्यारी धनिया कले प्यारी कठाई उहिन पुगाल उपार से तो हमरे कैसे जीना और भर लडिया में हमारे लडिया भरल बा हमारे उसी गाना लाव लेके जाए पड़ की जाए पड़ल वह उसे पुगाल तो हमरे जाए पड़ वह गाना हो
Tharo tribe has its presence in the foothills of the Himalayas in Nepal as well as in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar states in India.
Moving on to India, a land of vivid cultures and seasons. Be it the northern state of Kashmir or Sikkim in the northeast, there are many destinations in the country which attract a large number of domestic and foreign tourists. Let's take a look.
Snowfall in Kufri town added to the charms of picnickers. On the New Year's Eve, a large number of tourists from North India visit the popular tourist destination in Himachal Pradesh province to experience snowfall and enjoy their winter holidays.
और यहाँ पर पहले साल की जो पहले दिन बर्फ पड़ी है बहुत अच्छी है रात को पड़ी हुई है ये शिमला में नहीं थी कल हम सोच रहे थे कि अपने घर चले जाए लेकिन फिर रात को किसी ने बताया कि यहाँ पर बर्फ पड़ी है कुफरी के अंदर तो हम कुफरी में आए हैं घूमने बहुत एंजॉय है बहुत मस्त है बहुत मजा आ रहा है यहाँ पर पहले साल की
Another tourist attraction in northern India is Kashmir Valley and several tourists visit to enjoy the snowfall there. Snow-laden mountains near Gulmarg town in Baramulla district of the province remain a major attraction for tourists in winter. The town is situated in the Pir Panjal range of the western Himalayas.
पहली बार और लकी है कि आज हुई बर्फबारी वरना हम आज मिस कर जाते अगर आज भी नहीं होती। कैसा लगा आपको आज? बहुत अच्छा लगा सबको सजेस्ट करने वाले हैं जाके कि यहाँ जरूर आए।
In a beautiful surprise, the state of Sikkim in India's northeast also received snowfall. It came as a boon to sports enthusiasts who enjoyed skiing and other outdoor activities. The mountain pass of Nathula is a treat to everyone's eye for the wonderful views it offers, attracting a large number of tourists from across the world. One could witness snowfall in various parts of Sikkim this year, such as Yangthen, Lachin and Lachung, which have been attracting numerous tourists.
There are many such attractive spots in India where you can plan a visit during winters. With that, we come to the end of this week's episode of South Asia Focus. See you next week. Goodbye and take care.